Some jobs need to look like accidents. Best jobs are the ones nobody even knows you were there.
In The Mechanic, Jason Statham and Ben Foster star in an action thriller about a hitman teaching his apprentice the tricks of the trade.
Gnomeo!
Juliet, I just wanted to see you again.
February brings the first of a bunch of new family movies this year. Gnomeo and Juliet is the classic story of Romeo and Juliet, set in the world of garden gnomes.
I was in a taxi. I crashed. I don't know how I got here.
You have been in a coma for 4 days.
In Unknown, Liam Neeson is a man who wakes up from a coma and finds out that someone else has taken his identity, and no one, not even his wife, believes him.
We are the people who make sure things happen according to plan.
We monitored the entire world.
In March, Matt Damon and Emily Blunt star in The Adjustment Bureau, a sci-fi thriller about a mysterious organization trying to keep the two of them apart.
Don't move.
What?
Don't move.
Not moving.
Shh, not moving. Try to blend in.
What? Blend in? What do you mean?
Blend in.
Huh? What are you saying?
Too late.
Johnny Depp voices Rango, an animated adventure about a chameleon who is forced to change into a hero to protect a western town.
What we just witnessed come out of the ocean.
12 different locations across the globe were breached.
There are massive casualties in Moscow, Paris. We lost communication.
Aaron Eckhart and Michelle Rodriguez try to save the world in Battle Los Angeles as they face off against an alien invasion.
We can't do this anymore. They've arranged for you to marry Henry Lazar.
What do we do now? I'd do anything to be with you.
Red Riding Hood is not just an update of the classic fairy tale, it's also a werewolf movie from the director of the first Twilight movie.
The fourth time someone's tried to kill you.
I'm an Irish Catholic with the grace of God on my shoulder. If any of these maggots from the so-called mafia want to come after me, I'm not a hard man to find.
In limited release will be Kill the Irishman, the true story of Danny Green, a tough Irish thug working for mobsters in Cleveland during the 1970s. It was filmed in Detroit in the summer of 2009, and the cast includes Ray Stevenson, Christopher Walken, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Val Kilmer.
Don't be. To reach your own paradise. Just let go.
March wraps up with the latest fantasy action movie from visionary director Zack Snyder. Sucker Punch is about a young girl institutionalized by her wicked stepfather. She retreats to an alternative reality to cope with it all, envisioning a plan which will help her escape the facility.
I took your advice. It was very good advice. Sean.
Look, I can see that you think you know me, but I don't know who you are. My name is Captain Coulter Stevens.
You're kind of freaking me out.
April begins with a sci-fi thriller, Source Code. Jake Gyllenhaal is a soldier who wakes up in the body of an unknown man and discovers he's part of a mission to figure out who bombed a Chicago commuter train.
Modern audiences have become savvy to the rules of the originals. I mean, there are still rules, but the rules have changed.
And the kill's gotta be like way more extreme.
One of Wes Craven's most popular movie franchises returns with its fourth installment, Scream 4, that filmed in Ann Arbor, Dearborn, and the Detroit area last year. In this story, 6 years have passed, and Sydney is once again visited by the ghost-faced killer.
You made my man look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops. That's hurtful. Would you like to tell me where you received your training? Afghanistan? Chechnya? Who are you?
May is the month of superheroes and sequels, starting with Thor. Chris Hemsworth stars as the powerful but arrogant warrior who is cast out of Asgard and sent to live on Earth, where he becomes one of the planet's greatest superheroes.
There'll be dangers along the way. Firstly, mermaids, zombies, Blackbeard, the pirate all pirates fear.
Captain Jack Sparrow gets a fourth installment, this time in 3D, in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Sparrow and crew go on a quest to find the elusive Fountain of Youth, But they aren't the only ones after the treasure.
I think so.
The guys from The Hangover are also back in The Hangover Part 2. This time, Phil, Stu, Alan, and Doug travel to Bangkok for Stu's wedding. Poe and the gang return for Kung Fu Panda 2, where they join forces with a group of new Kung Fu masters to take on an old enemy with a deadly new weapon. June kicks off with another prequel from the popular X-Men franchise, X-Men First Class. Takes us back to the younger days of Xavier and Magneto as Charles and Eric, young mutants discovering their powers, and others like them. The super secret J.J. Abrams sci-fi movie Super 8 may be one of the biggest mysteries of the summer, since nobody really knows exactly what it's about, other than it's set in the 1970s, with mysterious cargo from Area 51. There's also a group of kids shooting a movie with a Super 8 camera that notice what appears to be an alien in their footage. We'll have to wait until the next trailer in the spring to learn more.
Your name?
Hal Jordan.
The ring. It chose you. Use its power to defend our universe.
Superhero goes 3D in Green Lantern when Ryan Reynolds takes on the role of Hal Jordan, a test pilot who is given a mystical green ring from another world, giving him amazing powers and the responsibility of keeping the peace in the universe. The third movie about robots from another galaxy that turn into vehicles opens up the month of July, Transformers: Dark of the Moon. The Autobots discover a spacecraft from their home planet hidden on the moon, and race against the Decepticons to reach it and learn its valuable secrets. The big-budget action movie filmed in many locations, including Detroit and Chicago last year. The final installment of the Harry Potter franchise hits theaters the following week, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is in 3D. The story follows Harry Potter on a quest to find and destroy Lord Voldemort's secret to immortality. The fifth scheduled superhero movie of the year rounds out July with Captain America: The First Avenger. Chris Pine jumps into the iconic role of Steve Rogers, who, after being deemed unfit for military service, volunteers for a top-secret research project that turns him into Captain America.
I want that man. You give him to me now, or I'm gonna take him.
The director of Iron Man takes us back to the Old West with the sci-fi thriller Cowboys and Aliens, where a spaceship arrives in 1873 Arizona, and it's up to Cowboys Daniel Craig, Harrison Ford, and Sam Rockwell to stop them. The adventure comedy 30 Minutes or Less spent several months filming in West Michigan last summer. Jesse Eisenberg and Aziz Ansari star in the movie about two fledgling criminals who kidnap a pizza delivery driver and force him to rob a bank.
Make some money!
In the somewhat distant future, Hugh Jackman quits boxing to teach robots how to do it in Real Steel, a movie that scouted West Michigan but ultimately chose Detroit for the filming locations. The next to last Twilight movie hits theaters in November in The Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn, Part 1. The Wolf Pack and the Vampire Coven are looking for expecting parents Edward and Bella, whose unborn child poses different threats to the different groups. Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, and Hudsonville native Taylor Lautner are back. For Thanksgiving, Jason Segel heads up a new Muppets movie, in which Kermit the Frog and his Muppet pals put on a show to save their old theater. In December, Tom Cruise and some of his co-stars from Mission Impossible 3 are back for the next chapter, Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. The story is under wraps for now. There's also another go-around for Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law in Sherlock Holmes 2, as Holmes and Watson join forces to outwit and bring down their nemesis, Professor Moriarty. And a popular series of Swedish novels and movies get the U.S. treatment in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara star in the crime thriller about a young hacker who helps a journalist try to find a woman who's been missing for 40 years.